It's really incredible. I don't know. I feel like we've been wondering and waiting about what tonight would be like for so long that I'm so excited, and I can't believe there are actually people here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good being here as the guy, I guess, as Christian Grey. This is what it's all about, you know. This is what we did it for, nights like this, and get to show it off and see what the reception is. And yeah, it's insane, but it's brilliant.
This is amazing. I mean, I'm really excited to be in London and to bring it home, and I feel really good about it.
When I wrote this, I never ever envisaged doing this in Leicester Square. I mean, I can hardly believe it. I'm just pinching myself. Everyone's here because of my imagination, and it's like, whoa.
She's a young woman who carries herself with grace and strength and is an innocent person, and then you kind of watch her go through something incredibly profound as a woman. You see her turn into a woman and explore her emotions and her sexuality, and it's a beautiful story and something unique and different.
Yeah, I mean, Dakota's great. I mean, the first time I met her, I sort of knew that, like, we'd be like mates. You know, she's very funny. I sometimes think I'm funny. And we just had this sort of rapport with each other that was easy. And then over time, we built up a trust for each other, you know. And you need that with any actor or actress, even if you're doing a day with them. But given the amount of time Dakota and I spent together and the nature of what we were doing, trust was the most essential thing, you know. And I felt that we had that in abundance.
I mean, Dakota was incredible, and I met with her very early on in the process, and she came in and she just embodied Anastasia Steele very quickly, and then Jamie I met much later in the process, and the thing is, it's very hard to cast someone who's written as physically perfect, charismatic, stylish, you know, all of those things, and can act. And the amazing thing is, Jamie had all of those, but the attribute that made me want him was he's a very soulful person, and I hope that comes through.
I mean, I would describe 50 Shades of Grey as being, I do think, honestly, it's a love story, and people talk about the sex, and look, sex is a massive part about it, and it's an erotic series of novels, and it's an erotic film, but it's still got a love story. You know, you don't sell that many books and keep people's interest over 3 long books without there being, it can't just be 3 long books about S&M sex, you know, it has to be a story, it has to be something at the core, and that is a love story, and it's these 2 people who, you know, on paper shouldn't really be together and make massive sacrifices to make it work. And you know, we've seen that before in stories gone by, and I think that's what got.
Well, I think fundamentally it's a love story. It's a very complex love story, and you go on the full journey, you know, behind closed doors, everything. And the most important thing for me was the feeling that Anastasia isn't a victim to it. She's a very much empowered woman by the end of it, and actually it's Christian Grey that becomes the vulnerable one.
I mean, I think Christian Grey is this very tortured, tormented, broken, unhappy man who really struggles with contentment, and he's been through awful stuff in his youth that has made him that way, and that has manifested itself in how he approaches business and how he approaches relationships and how he's sort of incapable of love, and it's he's quite a heartbreaking character, to be honest. I found myself feeling sorry for him quite a lot. He's obviously got all the wealth in the world and everything, but if you can't be happy, what does that mean? I nearly got the part before, and then someone else got it, you know, so I'd sort of done all my thinking about what it would mean getting it, and then suddenly, you know, unforeseen circumstances, and I was back in it. So I'd got my head around it by that stage, and I was feeling good about it.
It was pretty challenging, but I'd say actually the whole movie from beginning to end was pretty challenging. And I mean, the intimate scenes, we saved them to the end of the movie because I really wanted to build trust between Dakota and I, Jamie and I, and the 2 of them together. So by the time we got there, we felt pretty, well, I would never say you're ready for that kind of thing, but we felt like we could accomplish what we needed.
I was nervous. I was terrified until last Friday when we screened it in front of a fan screening in New York, and everyone was happy, and I think, oh, my work here is done. Yeah, I was happy.
I think that people will be hopefully happy. I think that they'll get some of the stuff that they loved in the book, and hopefully they'll laugh a little, maybe cry a little.